Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back for another joyride.
Oh, back for more punishment we are.
Yes, we are going to take a look at what's happening on planet Earth today. We want to thank everybody for their support over on Patreon again. We couldn't do it without you guys. Well, here we go. This is saying space debris burns up over the skies of Sacramento, California. Oh yes, reports came flooding in of something, fireball, something apparently breaking up over the sky of California. And when we look over here, somebody's saying, what, did something come out of orbit? This was the last few seconds of it heading away from me. I saw it from the other horizon, bright light with a trail. It went overhead, took about 30 seconds, was breaking up. I thought it was a rocket launch at first. This one is saying a brilliant fireball lit up the skies over California tonight again. The American Meteor Society confirmed it was a sporadic meteor that disintegrated over the Sequoia National Park area. Sightings stretch from Placer County to Reno to Los Angeles. So, okay, so space debris, or what is it? As you know, you have lots of people in California seeing something that's very curious. Calls began to flood in a little bit before 8 o'clock p.m. at local time about a meteor, something similar to it, traveling through the sky. Yeah, it's really interesting. And a lot of people, again, that was a big buzz about the rapture, etc., etc. This gentleman, Sacramento, Joey Becker, says went right over our heads. We were unloading groceries and boom, there it went. So, you know, it's curious to see how you have different reports, and this doesn't want to load here. La 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 la. Okay, somebody might be removing a post. There you go. So, you know, what does this one say? Well, this one says it was a Starlink satellite. Starlink 1586 re-entered Earth's atmosphere September 26th at 2:48 UTC, widely observed in Northern California. Wait a minute, the American Meteor Society said this was a meteor. So is it Starlink 1586? Or is it a meteor? Well, others said no. See, SpaceX launched 24 satellites at about that time. You know, it's a live stream of them going up. So it's just, you know, again, detaching from the boosters, etc. Okay, so, you know, yeah, this is a launch of a different rocket. And so what is it is the question. You know, here you have official, you know, explanation of SpaceX, which again, Starlink is the catch-all. It could catch everything. And ever since Elon started putting them up in the sky by the thousands, it's always been a case of, well, is that a whole troop of UFOs, UAPs up in the sky? Or nah, it's just Starlink. And then of course we got the meteor thing, the space rock thing. Everybody's eager to say, no, it was just what we said it was. So what was it really? You know, when I asked Cindy about this, you know, what did she feel into it? What does she feel?
You know, it feels more menacing than what they're saying, definitely. So I didn't like it. You know, it feels like there could be more to come.
And then I did notice that a lot of people were leaving comments in different places fearing that this was some sort of maybe rocket or something that was shot down with the war tensions that are going on right now. You know, again, you could see how you'll get official explanations and maybe different agencies that are really truly all about covering up the reality of, again, ultra-terrestrials and their interactions with us here on the planet, or lack of interactions, but just observing. As you see, this looks like whatever it was breaking up, but then we had other photos of it as a solid video of it as one single solid object. It wasn't possibly more than one thing going on. Maybe it was a Starlink. Maybe there was, you know, actually something else going on besides the Starlink, but it was perhaps Starlink. maybe, you know, you gotta wonder, maybe somebody's taking shots at different things. Because, again, when we talk about that they want to give us this fake alien invasion, and we had a live last night, which was a real good one, and we had a nice turnout, and, you know, a lot of people are legitimately worried about the potential of Nibiru, again, a Planet X. A lot of people really are worried about the possibility of some extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial interference in things on Earth, possibly even an attack. And then a ton of people are really concerned about World War III coming on. We've talked about the coincidental earthquakes that we keep seeing. There was a shallow 5.9 earthquake that hit off the coast of Oregon, basically a 6.0, you know, again, right in that Juan de Fuca, Cascadia area that we are very, very concerned with. And, you know, again, this what's left here of this plate once was a much bigger plate, and it's basically going under the North American plate, and, you know, it's just being recycled. This is obviously one of the areas of greatest interest, especially for those of us that live in the United States. So this is very significant, basically a 6.0 right here in, again, the Juan de Fuca, Cascadia area. So we're watching that closely, as we were watching the quakes that were going on in Venezuela, which have calmed down now. But again, a 6.2 over there, a 6.3, and a 5.9, substantial. And while that's going on at a time when there's a lot of U.S. military right off the coast of, guess where? Venezuela. Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's really no coincidences, I don't think.
No coincidences.
And there is natural events. You know, hurricanes, tropical storms, those are natural events. But that's not to say that they couldn't potentially be steered or amplified. And here we go. This one we're going to watch. There's actually two storms out here. One of which is the weaker storm, which is right now basically north of, right around Cuba. It is going to meander. It looks most likely that it's going to head over towards a Carolina landfall, somewhere in the Carolinas, but not as a major storm. However, there is one behind it that has the potential to be a major storm. But right now it's looking like it's probably not going to bother the mainland. And that would be good, obviously, as this has potential, as you can see here, becoming a Cat 4 hurricane. But there is the slight potential for the two storms to interact and pull into each other and create one storm. It is not as likely a scenario, but then again, you just never know with this world at this time. So we'll put our intention out there that these will be turned into nothing burgers. But again, if you are anywhere from Florida along the east coast of the U.S. and then eventually with this storm, maritime Canada and over into Europe eventually, you know, just be aware of it. Be aware. Just like increased seismicity, gas emissions. Over in Japan, we have Miyakandake volcano showing signs. There's a lot of volcanoes that are active and waking up. And then there's floods all over the place. Flash floods hit Globe, Miami area. And this is in Arizona. Oh man, you know, again, the desert is extremely dangerous when it comes to the monsoon type of rains that can come in, because again, the ground is not built to absorb it. So, you know, be very aware of that. There's all sorts of flooding activity going on. This is really, really sad. This is in Taiwan. Flash floods inundate a ranch in under a minute. 120 cows were swept into the Pacific. We've had some very large, troublesome storms over in Asia. This is in Sochi, Russia. You have some pretty intense flooding going on over there. Super Typhoon Ragasa killed at least 27 people, caused flooding, devastation across parts of southern China, Taiwan, and the Philippines. And then we had severe tropical cyclone Opang that battered the Philippines and made landfall in Oriental Mindoro after tearing through Masbate and Romblon. At least 4 are dead, 6 missing, tens of thousands evacuated in that storm's wake. You had 4 whales wash ashore Crete, Greece. 3 of them were dead. We're looking again at the possibility of there being some big activity over in the Mediterranean area as well, as far as earthquake activity, possible volcanic activity as well. You have very early season snow cover going on in Russia. This is way ahead of the norm. So, again, everything is melting. We're all going to be swept away. So said Al Gore, many decades ago, and he even gave us timelines that have proven to be completely off the mark. And meanwhile, here we go. It's colder and snowier. Any way you look at that, I see that as stairs for giants. Are they just simply planting terraces where people would, go ahead and do their planting? Yeah, could be. But originally, I see stairs for giants.
Well, how do you climb to the next terrace? I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Well, you see, we got the stairs on the side. Now, I don't know when those stairs on the side came into being for the normal 5 or 6 foot tall humans. But yeah, if those are stairs for a giant, I think you've got to be looking at, beings that were 100 foot tall in that case, and again, there's all different levels of gianthood when we look to the myths and the legends. And again, there's all sorts of life out there in this universe, which is nothing but a single cell in the bigger multiverse. We could pull energy out of the ether. This UAP is doing just that. It's charging its batteries, so to speak.
Indeed it is, and it's doing a spectacular job.
This happens far more than people would realize. Again, when there are electrical storms, we've seen so many UAPs over volcanoes, for instance. And why? Because they're going to recharge their batteries. They're just going to suck the energy from the ether that's being emitted in these storms. These are red sprites. That's a term, again, that I don't know if it's even 10 years old when you get down to it. Maybe about 10 years old. And what do we see when we see these? We see conscious entities. In fact, again, when I'm in meditation, eyes closed, paying attention on the pineal gland, and I sense my guides coming in, the first thing I see is through the pineal gland, and sometimes also through the actual eyes. These, it's like light columns that come in. So, this is, again, these are entities. These are conscious beings that are watching the happenings on planet Earth.
Oh, and look at this little guy. He's just, he's just doing a cuteness overload thing. He can't help himself but be so handsome.
I don't know. What is he?
He's just, I call him cutie.
He looks like a Wandingo bat.
I guess I like Wandingo bats then.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is, but anyway, he is cute and he is curious about you, and we're curious about what you guys are thinking. Please do share your comments, make sure you're subscribed, and do share these videos as we work to wake up as many as possible so we can shift to a more positive paradigm here on planet Earth at the turn of the Yugas. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.